What's good, diehards? It's your boy Eru, host of the Knicks podcast. As you can see on the screen here, get your shots. Knicks would exclusively sell tickets to vaccinated fans if they advance to the second round. Yeah, man. So I'm here to talk about that. Obviously, since I'm coming on here, you can kind of judge that. I don't really agree with that. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I don't agree with it, for obvious reasons, man, is that to me, it's obvious reasons to me. The reasons being is that, just to enter something, it doesn't have to be a basketball related thing. It doesn't have to be something fun like this, whatever, something, leisure. It could be anything, like if you want to go into the grocery store, what's stopping them from saying, hey, you got to be vaccinated to go to the grocery store? What's to say that if just to get on the train, you got to be vaccinated? And then also too, how come we haven't done that yet? They never shut the trains down. If you live in New York City, you already know that everyone's been right on top of each other the whole time. They actually had police at one point, waiting in the stations, kicking people off the train if the train was too packed. But then they stopped doing that and they just let everybody just ride the trains packed all throughout the whole pandemic. They tried to do their best by taking the trains out during midnight, but that just takes the homeless people off the train. The homeless people, and then because you can't go out, there's no hanging out. I guess it's just really bugged out, man. The whole situation, and I just don't like the fact that they do that because they're making it into a game where fans are feeling like they're they're better than other people. People are saying that because like, hey, I got my vaccination. I ain't worried about it. I'm going to the game. I got my vaccination. It's that culture that I think is very dangerous. For New Yorkers, because like I'm saying, what's stopping people from saying that, listen, you can't come into the grocery store without being vaccinated? You know what I'm saying? So now you're forcing people to get this vaccination, something that a lot of people still have a lot of questions about it too. Like I don't want to get so crazy into it, but because YouTube has been blocking people if you even talk about COVID or anything like that. But I kind of want to get some of you guys' opinion, man. So I'll do this. I'll actually put the link for this chat in here. So if anybody got nothing else to do and you want to talk to me, I'll throw this in there if you guys want to pop in for a little while and just talk about this whole COVID thing. What do you think about the Knicks saying that if we advance to the second round, that they're only going to sell tickets to vaccinated people? Now, just to add another thing too, man, the majority of fans, they can't really afford playoff tickets, especially like a 4-game homestand. And the second round is going to be 3 games. So I really don't have say like $300 times 3, or buying tickets for other family members and stuff like that, so we all can go and have to do that thing. Oh, you cash out me back. I really, not a lot of people have that the resources to do that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people that do have money and that do have the resources to do it, they really don't care. And then that's really what bothers me a lot about this whole thing, man. So we just shout out to a couple people. We got Chet Nick, thank you for coming in. Ant is here. Yeah, man, you got Bodega Wi-Fi is always hanging around. Yeah, you get what you vote for. Okay. Many people dead before the vaccine. Exactly, man. There was reports about children that they were vaccinated and they didn't put out all the information. And here's the thing too, man. If you go to their website, which I'm not gonna do, you do your own research and whatever. It's not FDA approved. It's not really approved yet, man. So where we are the clinical trials. They keep talking about clinical trials and stuff like that. We are the clinical trials, because they just brought it out and they're giving it to people and people are just taking it. And you saw the mayor, he was giving out free, they were saying free French fries and stuff like that if you get vaccinated and all this other stuff. Like all the celebrities are coming out saying, it's like, what is the real thing with this? What is the real reason behind it? Because listen, at the end of the season, when was it? Maybe like February or so, they opened it up for like some fans to come in. You had to have a mask on. They were harassing you if you didn't have your mask on. You had to, like right now, everywhere you go, you got to get your temperature. You go to a restaurant, anywhere, you got to write your name down to give you information just in case there's an outbreak, and then they can contact you and that type of thing. That stuff is good, but what are you drawing the line with this stuff, man? because like just to bring it back to the Knicks, just right in the season during the season, there was only like 2,000 fans being allowed into the arena. Everybody's still loud and boisterous and stuff like that. But that made sense because it spread everybody out. You know what I'm saying? So you would think that the thought process would be like, okay, well, now that the arena is kind of like small, let's start to cater to this now. As soon as we start opening up more, just space out the arena. Maybe break up the seating where people are not up on each other. You know what I'm saying? And at least just have a spacing or whatever. But as soon as the playoffs started, it went from 2,000 to 5, and it went straight to 8 to 10, and then now it's like 15,000, and now they're trying to go full capacity by the second round of the playoffs. So is this virus, is it cured? Are we cured of this virus now out of nowhere? Getting this vaccine, has that cured everything? Are we all back to normal? Is there's no danger of if it ever happening again? So were we ever in danger at all? Or is this just about money? Filling up the arena at Madison Square Garden, it's fun. I was out there. I was at Clyde's Wine and Dine, and I was hanging out with a couple guys there. Shout out to In My Life's TV. In My Lifetime's Teas. I actually did a podcast with him too. So if you go through my interviews, you see I did a pretty long podcast with Tuck. His name was Tuck from In My Lifetime Teas. Also, Eric Booker, the DJ, he also was there too. He was with his lady. So it was cool, decent crowd there. Had a little bit of fun. But I made it out to the Garden. Actually, I was driving, so I actually drove past the Garden. So it was nice to see people in the streets running and stuff like that. But it's really more about the money, because it was so many people coming out the bars. People were jumping on my car because I had my Knicks flag on in the back. A bunch of different things like that. So as soon as I turned that corner on 7th Avenue and I made my way in front of the Garden, everybody jumped my car again. Everybody's jumping, handshakes. Everybody's on top of each other. Is this virus cured? You know what I'm saying? Just from there, I just have a bad taste in my mouth, man. But I did put the link in the chat there, and I see Evergreen here. Shout out to Evergreen. Evergreen is becoming a legend, man. Let me bring him up in here. What's good? What's good, Evergreen? How's it going?
Bro, you don't gotta give me praises and honors. This legend stuff. It's too early for that. Give me like a couple decades. I'll take that legend stuff later, brother. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. That legendary stuff, we give it to Sim. He's the podfather and stuff like that. But trickle it out, man. You're doing a big thing with that with the EP you just put out with the Big 15 and stuff. So I mean, legendary stuff is happening every day with Knicks fans. Even this small podcast that I do, man. It's just a big thing. If I say legend, you got to call it while it's here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man. The Big 15 EP was such a quick turnaround too. Like, it was so quick, it was so organic. Me and Drugs Only have been talking, really since the middle of last season about how we wanted to put a tape out together, and now that we once we started getting these playoff aspirations, I had to follow up with them, like, yo, what are we gonna do? We're gonna put this tape out, and then it was just a matter of figuring out how many tracks we were gonna do, and a lot of the small logistical stuff that none of the fans actually care about. They only care about the end product. And when I gave them all the beats and got back to listening to the finished product, man, I was so blown away. Like I said on MBK, I really only had creative control, if you will, of 2 records. For those of you that haven't heard it yet, you can jump on my Twitter page at Evergreen_G6. You can follow me, the same thing on Instagram, Evergreen_G6. I got the songs separated there, so you can go straight to my feed and hear it that way. Or you can go to just go on YouTube and go into the MBK and listen to the last episode that Sim put out. And it's right there in the title, the Big 15 EP, man. We're trying to do really big things with this tape. We're trying to take this a lot further than what people may think this is gonna go. And this is the unofficial release, is what we put out with Sim. But the official release is coming soon, and we actually got some more surprises, some more quick cameos, if you will. So, everybody tune in. We're trying to replace the Go New York Go song with the Big 15 anthem. So there should be no with the way we're playing right now, once the rest of the garden actually hears this EP and specifically hears this song, man, I see the fans taking this over and taking this over by storm. I'm calling it now. We're putting it into existence, and it's only going to happen by way of you guys. This is the first EP, guys. I want you to dig this. This is the first EP created by fans, created for fans, specifically for one particular franchise in sports. This hasn't been done since the recording of music history, right? Since the A track, since 85s and 33s on the needle. This has never been done before. So we technically we made history, and what better way to make history with the greatest sports franchise in history? So I got my cameos there. I got my big shout out to Eru. You know what I mean? He hooked us to put him on there just to show love and to show love to all the communities, to let us know this Knicks stuff is not just like, it's not just an orange and blue team that we watch occasionally. This stuff, man, for real it's a big, huge family. From NBK to Legion of Knicks to Die Hard Knicks podcast, to listening to the Mad Good podcast, to listening to In the Nick of Time, to listening to Knick Fan TV. Like, everything is so big and boisterous, and I'm just so happy to be a part of this community, man.
Yeah, is that not legendary status, man?
I guess it is, bro. I guess it is.
Yeah.
I'm humbled to be called that at this point in time. I'm very humbled. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go, I'm wearing my orange and blue, as you can see. I got on my sweater. I'm about to be in the Poconos in a minute. You know what I mean? I got my sweater on. I got my hat on. I'm the only one out here in South Jersey. Hold on. I'm the only one flying the Knicks flag out here in South Jersey, so people in my community where I live at know me when they see my car, and we're out here representing, and you should too. Wherever you at digesting this podcast, you should too. Let's get it. We here, people.
Yeah, man, that's dope. As you can see, I got the same flag on the back of my car, in the back of I'm using that right now as like the avatar at the back of the podcast right now. Yeah, man. So
right,
I mean,
right. Keep it flying.
So yes. So what's your thought on this whole vaccine thing? Because I mean, just like 2 weeks ago, there was only 2,000 fans allowed in the arena, and everybody was walking around on eggshells. You still got to have your mask on. Now all of a sudden, like a week later, they want to open up the full arena, and they want to charge everybody all these extra prices. And now they're talking about second round. It's only open for vaccinated fans. What do you think about all that stuff?
I mean, it's all politics. It's all politics. Politics, lobbyists. It's all interweaved. The only thing that you can really do is just support how you support. Whether you decide to go to the game or not, that's on you. If you feel like you need to spend your extra money, that's on you. I heard people out there hustling vaccine cards. I heard people out there hustling, hustling the security guards, like giving them extra money. I heard the security guards is not even paying attention to that. So, it is what it is. As long as you can get out and you can support your team, and you can put your fist real high and chant, F you Trae Young and not spit on players and support your team the best way, the best logical way possible, man. Continue to do that, man. Don't get so wrapped up and going to the game and dealing with the politics of the vaccine cards. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. You just gotta move accordingly to what you got going on with your life and your situation. I'm not paying $2,000 to go to the game.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
not doing that. I'm not paying $500 to go to a game. I'm gonna wait till Sim open this thing back up and get my tickets at the home opener. You know what I mean? And I'm going to support that way and keep it moving. If it's not the home opener or a game that I can closely get out here in Philly, I'm not going. I love the Garden. It's electric getting there, but I'm not getting ready to break the bank just to go watch a team play. I can watch it from the comfort of my own TV, and I can get my beers cheaper, right? And I can invite my Knicks fan friends to come to the house, and we can do it big that way. There's no
no doubt about that.
Right. He got his brewski. There's no one way to support this franchise. If you want to support the orange and blue and pick up a brew in your own house, do so. And if you feel like you want to spend all the money to to get your vaccinated seats and you want to get a needle in your arm just to go and see the Knicks do that, then go ahead and do so too. I support it. Just as long as you're not out there repping the New Jersey Nets, and I'm fine with you. I'm fine. You know, you're fine with me, I should say. So, you know, let's go Knicks.
Yeah, and as long as you're not out there spitting at people, man. That was crazy, man. You know, I'm so embarrassed. You know, as a fan base, and plus, you know, he did it right in front of 50 Cent and stuff. So all that stuff was right on TV, and it just makes us all look bad, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, this guy Chet Nick, man, he wants to know is it on Spotify yet?
No, it is not on Spotify. So right now, the only two places that you can get it, because this is an unofficial release. The only two places where you can get this album, or not get it, but listen to it, is again, you got to go on Nothing But Knicks. The last episode is titled, you know, the Big 15 EP premiere, and the whole entire album is timestamped. So we did a little interview. You know, we did like a normal show. Then he did like a little small interview with us, as well as, you know, obviously everybody from the MBK family knows me. I'm a regular on the show. But they did an interview with Drugs Only and Bezo, and we made sure we timestamped everything. And then what I did was I went and I screenshotted all of the records, you know, as he played them, and I put them onto my Instagram. So if you follow me on IG, the pinned post that I have has the link to the YouTube to the YouTube video, as well as it has the link to my Instagram page and the first song titled Playoffs. And if you're on my Instagram page, the last 7 posts that I have up there are all of the songs on the page. So go ahead, play that, listen to that, screen record it, save it to your phones, bump it when you go to the game, scream it when you're at the game, scream it if you're standing in front of 33rd right at the Garden. Do everything, promote this song, because little do people know we are trying to replace the Go New York Go song for good reason. You know, according to Alan Hahn, the guy that made the Go New York Go song, he has ownership and stock in an NBA team, right? And that NBA team that he's got stock in just so happens to be the Atlanta Hawks, who we're trying to destroy right now. So, you know, if you're paying attention to the interwebs of this whole Knicks media movement we got going on, that was presented. So, you know, my rule of thumb is if it's not New York Knicks, we're not jacking it. And because that guy created that, he is now, you know, got ownership in Atlanta, we can't jack that song no more. It's bad enough that the song is outdated and kind of corny, so we had to give us a little update and make a legitimate, real anthem for everybody to get behind. And I think that once that everybody down on 33rd Street hears it, and maybe if DJ Monopoly hears it at the Garden and he plays it, man, it's going to be complete pandemonium, especially after a home win game. It's going to be complete pandemonium. And you guys would be the first ones to say, you know what, I was a part of that with Evergreen and Eru and the whole MBK family and you know, just the whole Knicks media. So big ups to y'all. Y'all are the ones that are going to drive this. And who knows, maybe at some point in time, you will be able to hear this record on a much bigger platform. I'm speaking this into an existence right now.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I put the link to Sim's to that actual episode is right in the chat right now. So if anybody listening wants to hear it, just click the link and you'll be on you know, sent to that thing there. Also, like I said, I got Evergreen's Twitter here. He said the last few posts are individual songs, so you can go check it out too. Also, I Am Drugs, man. I've been trying to get him on the show for a minute too, man, but I'm working, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we all do. Yeah, you know, I work for the city or whatever, man. So, you know, I'm putting a lot of hours and stuff trying to take care of my family and stuff like that, man. So I haven't had a chance to really like lock in on a time to really do stuff like that, man. But, you know, just get out there, support not only, you know, Evergreen and their projects, that everybody with MBK. I see Andy here. Andy wants to know how long we're going to be on here because he's salivating as well. He wants to get up on here. You know what I'm saying? It's just the excitement of being a Knicks fan, man. It's just great. I'm happy to be affiliated with it. I'm happy to be doing the drop at the end of track 3.
Yes,
when I was listening to it, I had in my headphones. I'm sitting right here in my spot. I'm listening to the shit. So as I was vibing, in my head, I'm kind of like, you know, freestyling in my head a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I hear my voice like, oh, he used it, man. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I thought that was one of the standout tracks too, man. So I challenge everybody to go out there and check it out. It's a dope, it's a good listen. And you know, in the show with Sim, I Am Drugs, you know, he just you know, they call him Dio, you know, Dio, right? That's for short.
Yeah, Dio, yeah.
Yeah, he made the point that it was an organic thing. So listening to it, it doesn't feel like a Go New York tape. You know what I'm saying? It feels like a legit, like authentic New York City kind of vibe thing, man. So definitely, I'm with all the smoke. We gotta get rid of that Go New York shit. It was whack when it came out the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
They
right.
keep playing it. Same thing like with the Friday Night Knicks guy. Like yo, that's like so corny. Like I don't know what's going on, man. So I mean, like even if it's not like the official anthem, if they could slide that Friday Night Knicks thing out of there, and maybe throw one of these tracks on there, that would be dope because it's all kid friendly, no cursing, nothing like that, which makes it great.
Super marketable, yeah, man. So that was the vision for the tape. Was to make sure that this will be able to resonate with everyone, but at the same time, you still get that raw ruckus, that grittiness that comes with being a New Yorker. And we made sure we made a point to not only make it just New York City, but make it to where even other teams in the NBA will be able to, not necessarily pick up the radio, but I mean, not necessarily pick up the entire record, but it would resonate with the basketball players. So there's a few songs on there that are bound to resonate with just the basketball players. It doesn't sound like it's a forced thing. It doesn't sound like the over dramatized basketball swishes and bounces and sneakers jumping all over everywhere. It sounds like people are doing what they love, and if you can relate to basketball and relate to being a player, this falls right into your lane. It falls right into your lane. So definitely, everybody go out there and listen to it, support the tape, listen to it on your own, bump it in the streets, bump it anywhere. You know what I mean? And it will have it dropped, and there will be some additional content on the official release coming here soon. So the date for the official release is to be determined, because we're trying to make some bigger moves with this tape, so that when we present it to y'all like, oh man, these guys are really trying to make something official just for us and just for the fans. So peace and love to Eru. I appreciate you having me on. You know what I mean? Let's get it. Everybody go listen to that tape, yo.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Game five, I think is on a Wednesday. That's June 2nd, I believe.
Yep.
So if things don't progress a little bit where you officially drop it, I'm gonna be out there. I'm not gonna be at the Garden watching the game. I'm not gonna be in the Garden, I should say, because I'm not getting vaccinated. That's straight like that. The
Right.
only way I'm getting vaccinated because I put myself into the New York City Marathon. So if they require me to get vaccinated, that's the only way I'm vaccinating myself because that's something that's something for my heart. The Knicks is just like a activity that I enjoy. I participate in, but running the marathon is a little bit different, man. But just I guarantee that day after the game, win or lose, whatever, I'm gonna take my car the same way like I did it the other day, and I'm gonna be blasting that New York, we here, all that stuff straight down on 7th Avenue, and I'm a park right in front of everybody, blasting it. So we're gonna make a ruckus, man. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll get
well,
in
you know
contact.
what? Being that you said that, Drugs Only said that he plans on going down there to play it too. So, definitely shoot me a text message so I can link us all together. You know what I mean? Again, this is so that you guys see what's going on. People that's listening to the podcast, like everything that's happening is all organic. None of this stuff is forced, right? So the fact that he already intended on coming down here, you know what I mean, and being in front of the Garden, and we also got plans on going out there and marketing it. You guys are a part of this whole entire process, right? So come out, show love with us. You know what I mean? Go rep the song, and assuming we get a W, which in that case, I'm hoping that W is going to be the W that we're done with, right? Because we go down to the A, we win 2, we come home, we win 1, we're done. The Big 15 record will explode. It will explode. We just gave us gentleman sweep to the Atlanta Hawks. You know what I'm saying? So if we can get that, and everybody comes out and starts looking for Eru's car, you know what I mean? He's gonna be the one with the only Nick flag that's out there. Probably gonna be more people, but everybody gets to bang that music, roll it down in your windows, play it. Man, we got an opportunity to really change the face and really show real love. Most importantly, to the players, to the legitimate Big 15. You know what I mean? We're a part of that. They put their blood wet, their blood, sweat, and tears into basketball, and we should do them the same by showing them some sort of love and gratitude. And this is how you do it right here on a regular, everyday basis. So, you know.
Yeah, we got to make history. We're making history here with all this stuff. Like you said, this is the first time this has ever happened as far as like fans getting together, making an official joint for a song for the people by the people. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the first time. This is the first time that Knicks fans control the media. You know, because we got media guys fiending to get on these shows now. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. And then there's a lot of people that use our material and to get their own clicks and stuff. The
Right.
sources are us. Speaking of the source, we got the plug right here to a lot of people's thing. We got Mr. Andy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that he broke that these beat writers they get out there and they're using Andy stuff, and we all know it because we watching the content, man. We're following the pulse of everything. So it's good stuff, man. What's up, Andy?
Yo, what up? Iru, I'm happy you even let me in. I had to take a shower especially to get on the show. You got these music producers all around the shows now. I don't know if I'm worthy anymore to join your show, so
Why
I'm
should
happy
you
to
that?
be on.
Yeah, man, you're the eyes over there on the east, man, on the east side of the planet, man.
Yeah, on the Far East, right? Far East.
But hey, guys, it was much love. I got to get up out of here. I got some things I got to take care of. Peace and love to the Die Hard Nick podcast. Eru, you got a wonderful show. You're doing amazing things over here. Keep going. You will always have my love and support, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm looking forward to the next phone call, man. Whatever you need me to do.
I got you. I'll hit you right up. I promise.
I got you.
Peace.
All right, peace,
bro.
man. Drive
Peace,
safe,
Andy.
man. Drive
Good seeing
safe.
you, Andy. Good seeing you.
You too, bro.
Hey, Andy, what's good, man?
Yeah, bro. It's what time is it? You got off of work or what?
I'm actually on a 4-day weekend, man. I got some seniority at work, man. So I
Ah.
got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, man. So I'm in my drawers, man. I don't want to. I can't stand up, but hopefully I don't drop my mic or nothing. I don't have to get up or anything. You know what I'm saying? So my kids in another room. Hopefully they're being good. I don't hear anybody screaming or nothing. So it should be all right,
Yeah.
man.
Sounds
Yeah,
fun,
how's it?
right? Yeah. Cool. I was shocked. That's why you catch me under the shower. I was like, getting ready to get a power nap in before the game, and
Okay.
I see this, notification and stuff, and I was like, oh, Evergreen's now here, so I'm gonna wait for him to chop it up, and then I'm gonna jump in. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
like
So what
Evergreen,
up,
man.
bro? Yeah,
Yeah.
how do you feel about because I wasn't at the beginning because I was under the shower, couldn't plug in the show, but what do you think about the vaccine thing?
Yeah, the whole
they
vaccine.
they, they went they went way ahead, right, with that one.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
surprised, bro.
Yeah, I'm surprised because it happened so quickly. It went from that they don't want nobody at the garden to all of a sudden, hey,
Yeah,
everybody come in, and now it's like, hey, you got to be vaccinated now. So I said what I had to say, but what do you think about that whole thing?
yeah. For one thing, the only reason I think that it might have a little bit of sense is that because I don't know if you knew that Dolan had to, I don't know if he had to put in extra insurance on the garden to let more people in. So, him probably, paying maybe even a couple of million to get those people in. Maybe he was like, okay, let me get only people vaccinated in. So the insurance is going to be less or something like that. Because, I think he was like, the MSG was like the first event that big in New York. So it might have been some, at least, cash implications. The only thing I could, imagine myself, them pulling a trigger on a decision like that. Then again, I'm gonna get vaccinated in like 3 days, the second shot. But I understand people that don't want to get vaccinated, and I really do. And it's not like I'm like killing anti-vaccine people or whatever. It's everybody's individual choice and stuff. I don't care, and I'm still gonna have friends. It's not like I'm gonna hate people or stuff like that. That would be crazy. But I understand people that don't want to get it, don't have to get it because maybe they were sick, they got those antibodies or whatever, and don't have to get the vaccination, right? So they feel safe, whatever. And I think it's a huge thing. I think it's maybe not as huge as the disrespectful fans that the fan that had the Trey Young incident, but I think it's a really huge thing and part of sports entertainment. These big shows, because I don't see any other teams deciding to do that, because that's like maybe not splitting your fan base, but at least telling those fans that are not vaccinated, listen, you're like the second sort of fans. We only want the better ones, right? So it's like dividing fans to a better one, a better, tier, whatever, and a little bit less. So I think, no, from this standpoint, I don't think it's a good idea. But like I said, I think the only thing that maybe propelled them to pull the trigger on the decision like that is them risking probably huge money if it was a outburst and they tied it to the Knicks. I think that might have been the only way that I at least try to explain myself the decision.
Yeah, you said it right, man. Everything there. That's just like the key word for me is alienating. They
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
alienated
exactly.
like a major part of the fan base. Because if you look at the numbers, like they said that 50% of all adults in New York City has gotten vaccinated or close to getting vaccinated. So like there's 8 million people in the city. 4 million people that got vaccinated. Some of these numbers are kind of like it could be fabricated. We really don't know. But like I said, there's 4 million people in the city, give or take, that that aren't vaccinated, man. So it's just goofy for me because the same thing for me. Like people that get the vaccine, I don't really feel any kind of way about it. So I have the reason why I don't want to do it, and people have the reason why they want to do it. Like same thing like Democrats and Republicans. It's really none of my business.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I don't I,
yeah.
I don't have to let you know if I'm a Democrat. I don't have to let you know if I'm a Republican. It shouldn't change how we interact with each other. But like you said, this could possibly cause a rift, and then this also too, being that the Knicks are also now they're the guinea pig. You mentioned the insurance and stuff like that. So they're going to be the guinea pig for other corporations and stuff like that to follow suit and say, hey, listen, you can't come in here unless you have a vaccination card. What I'm saying? To me, that sounds
Yeah,
like immigration to me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And
whether or not you, yeah,
yeah, I don't know if you have it in the States, but in Europe, if you want to travel, for example, for vacation and stuff, you gotta be vaccinated or you gotta have a test before you go to the vacation, when you get there, and when you get back, if you don't want to get quarantined, right? So it's like 3 tests, and it's all you got to pay from your own pocket because the government isn't going to pay for it. So it's basically for example, Mia, for people, family, if I had to get tested here, tested for example in Croatia, which I'm going, and tested again back, I would have like double the cash that I have to spend for the vacation, because the test is over $100 for a person here when you want to do it privately. So it's like I gotta get 4 people tested, 4 people tested in Croatia, 4 people tested when I get back, so I can go to work, right? So that's crazy, because that's hundreds of bucks, right? I rather spend it on anything else than just getting tested, right? But that's why I try to get vaccinated. Then I have that 14-day period, so the vaccination like goes through whatever, and I can get the paper that I'm able to travel. So that's at least that for me. But it's not like I had to take it. I was like pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine. It's not like that. I was like just decided to do it. And they say, like you said about the numbers, they say if 70% of the population is going to get the vaccine, it's going to be like basically stop spreading and even like die out, right? So, but in Poland, it's still like you said, probably like in New York, it's like around 50%. And it's like, if you would want to get vaccinated and you just go to the vaccine spot, you could just get it straight up the street. Meanwhile, like 3-4 weeks ago, you had to sign in, ask for some janitor to open the door so you can get in, and maybe there's a vaccine left or whatever, right? I was vaccinated like 30 minutes before midnight, because I was waiting in the line so I could get vaccinated and stuff like that. And like 2 weeks later, that they can't find people to give out shots. So that's how it goes, at least here in Poland. So
yeah. In New York is the same way. Like you can go to basically a CVS. I'm gonna
yeah.
shout out a guy here, man. I gotta get. We gotta do some off the podcast stuff here, going to get some to get him on the show. But this is what I initially said. This is my initial post when I announced the show. But my man here, Coach Fry, he posts this here. But if you look at it, man, he's right up in CVS, man. They just giving the shot anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a real shot, if he got the bootleg shot. I don't know what's going on with this stuff, man. But people, they're giving the shot everywhere, man. I feel like you can get it on
Maybe he just went to get that Band-Aid, bro. Maybe he just get the Band-Aid.
maybe yeah, maybe he's stunting for the gram or something. I don't know, man. This shit is crazy. But it's just funny, man. It's funny how things are right now. I really don't like it because it just looks like the movies, man. I don't want to get caught in any situation where you can't leave this area unless they're gonna have people at checkpoints checking. I don't want that to happen, man.
And exactly, and that's the worst thing, bro, because I never wanted this to happen. But if I'm not going to be able to go for a vacation this and next year, and maybe they're going to just implement over through like next couple of months some kind of extra passport for vaccinated people, whatever. They're still thinking about it, but people are protesting it and stuff. No, I just don't want to, it's like, I don't think it's going to hurt me that much to just get the vaccine. And, if you live in Poland, bro, you're going to have, they even try to sort people like, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. And if you're not, you got to be wearing a mask. So they're going to, like catch random people on the streets and ask for the, for the little card, right? So, imagine my kid going to a store on his bike and he's got to wear a mask because he's not vaccinated and stuff like that. And I was like, listen, this is getting out of hand. I want to go back to reality, to normal, life as soon as possible. If it means I got to get vaccinated, maybe it's not that bad, right? But I wasn't like pro vaccine. So, but, just to get, back to reality, back to normal life. So I just did it because of that.
Yeah, somebody just popped in just now. New Yorker, he said no freedom. It's a slippery slope that we're playing here with this thing, man. It's all it's all fun and games. We're trying to get to you're trying to watch the game and all this and the other. But if they start quietly trickle in the back door on different things, it doesn't really spell a good thing for us out here on these streets, man. So how's it going in Poland, man? What time is it over there? I know it's got to be like 9 o'clock?
9 p.m. 9 p.m.
Yeah, man. I don't know how you do it, man. Like it's not said enough. You're on Sim Show and people just you're just talking and whatever, and nobody acknowledges the fact that it is like
midnight, right?
Yeah, it's like half past the I don't even know what to say about that, man. So
yeah, but playoffs. I'm watching the games live, so because I was watching the games live through almost whenever League Pass came out. I just got the the US State League Pass. I did some proxy server, whatever numbers changed so I can get it. When they have it, a year later for the international, people, international League Pass, they called it. I got it, and I was like also, so it's like, I don't know, 6-7 years maybe. I was watching every game live. Like I missed like 2 or 3 games because like Christmas Eve and stuff like that. So I couldn't watch it at Christmas Eve. My wife would kill me if I watch a game on the Christmas table. So, I only, rewatch those games. But this season, bro, I don't know if it's the age. I was born in 84. I don't know if it's the age that kicked in. I was a zombie after the first 2 weeks in work, bro. I had, listen, I'm not going to turn on the internet on the phone, whatever. I'm just going to go to work, just drive back home, and then turn on the game, get dinner and turn on the game. And I watched, I watched a couple of games live, of course, because, I sneaked in the better ones. But, the playoffs, oh, no, that's not even discussion. I can't get, I can't get that power nap in before. So I get like, open eyes. But, it's crazy. I got to watch these playoff games because it's the season is on the line already. So,
yeah, you'll get to sleep back, at some point in your life. You know what I'm saying? See, they say sleep is the cousin of death anyway. I'm here in the States. I'm here in the States, and I average like 3 hours of sleep, man. Because a lot of times I'm trying to go to bed, and maybe I might do a podcast before I go to sleep. It might be 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now I want to go see my kids. I want to see my wife. Next thing you know, it's 11 o'clock. Maybe I might click on Sim Show, see what he's saying at the end. Then I might check Freezy Show. Next thing you know, it's like 12:30. Oh my God. Then I got to wake up at 3. So, I know how it goes, man. But New Yorker also said watch replays. Diehard fans don't watch replays, man.
Yeah, and it's it's a waste of watching a game if you know the result. Right, so that's the more if I knew that it's going to be like 101 and 109, And I was watching this like, okay, these guys got like 90, 98, and these guys like, I know, 105, and I know how much they're going to score till the end of the game. That's nothing interesting, right? I
Yeah.
also rewatch the games because, when I see something, for example, I try to chop up a little bit of tactics, watch how they did the schemes on offense, on defense, the plays and stuff. I also rewatch, but it's not like, I get a pen or a notebook and I just point it out. Sometimes I do it, but just for the sake of a bet, with Guillermo about Frank stats and whatever, I just do that so I can point them out. But it's like rather watch it for fun. And when I rewatch it after the dinner, I gotta have a bag of chips so my kids, don't bother me. So I open the chips and I just give them the bag, and they say that they're watching the game with me. Meanwhile, they're just scarfing up the chips.
Yeah.
And when the chips
That's-
are over, the first quarter is done, so they run away just to play out, at least I can watch the game easy
and
back
peace.
then.
Yeah, and peace, man. That's the dad life right there, man.
Yeah.
I had to throw I threw some stuff in front of they for they're doing, and like they're eating it now, man. So hopefully they're all
Yeah.
right, man. But what I was gonna say, just now with everything is on social media, everybody got a phone. So if the Knicks lost, right, I can always tell if they lost because I'm gonna get like a million texts. Bzz, 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 bzz. So now like I know they lost, so I have to watch the
Yeah.
game. So and
Yeah.
then also too, like you get tempted too because you're gonna hear like a certain notification that means that the game is over. So now if you pick up your phone, even if you don't get that, even if you pass out and you wake up and you turn your phone on, the first thing you see, oh, Knicks lost. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So you can't live your life.
Yeah.
So you have
And
to
it's
watch
like
it as
with
it happens.
and it's like with the notifications, right? Always try to tell Sim, like, Sim, listen, like YouTube on my app shows like 14 characters, so don't put the result in those 14 characters. Just do it, at the end of the sentence, right, of end of the title of the video, because I'm gonna have to unsubscribe and just subscribe back after I watch the game. So I don't want to be like that crazy, but like I said, it you can't go on any Facebook, Twitter pages, nothing the whole day. So it's like you just check your email, and then you gotta Twitter sends you an email like a rundown of the tweets from last night. So that's crazy. You gotta turn that off. Like you gotta basically kill the internet. And I also got these fans here in Poland, and they always like hook me up the next day, because they only rewatch the highlights of the Knicks and say like, oh, Frank with his usual 0 minutes, 0 points, whatever, right? And they tease me, and and I was like, think, okay, he had 0 points, but maybe he played at least a couple of minutes, right? But he's like, nah, and they they laughing at me like always. So it's crazy
Yeah,
like that. I gotta go out of the internet for like the whole day, and then when I get back, I just pop on I always make my son do it even. So by any chance, I just go like this. So by any chance, I see the result, but I gotta hide the scores. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna play it. And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, the next one. And he's like, no, I'm gonna say it. Again, laughing, right? And I was like, okay, they probably won, right? So if he's like sad or like not saying nothing, I know they lost. So
well, are your kids Knicks fans, or are they just like laughing at you all the time about that?
No. Listen, my son is 11. I would kick him out of my house, bro, if he was a Knicks fan. So I print the posters and I like just paste them in his room. It's like he doesn't have a choice.
Oh my God. Well, I want to ask you this too, man, because you're the breaking news guy. So what do you think about what Los Knicks is saying here about Luka?
That he's dressing tonight.
Yeah, do you think he's gonna dress tonight?
No, I don't think so. I think he had only private workouts at this point. I don't know if he's gonna dress, but even if he will dress, listen, I don't know. Alfred Payton would have to go like I don't know, pull a D Rose like last season. Last time D Rose was here, like jump on a plane in LaGuardia and just go, I don't know, to New Orleans, whatever, right? So maybe he would get burned, but if it's going to be a blowout, I don't see him playing this year because mainly because it's Tibbs as the coach. He loves these guys, he loves these rotations. He imagine Frank, he's being on the team and he's only using situational, I would even say minutes, because Tibbs say it's situational minutes. It ain't even minutes with Frank, it's seconds. So imagine a guy like
Literally.
Luka, he would have to impress Tibbs like for real on the practice facility to get on the court. And I believe even if he would be like only a couple of seconds on the floor. He could have a turnover easily because the guys don't know how to play with him and stuff. So I don't see him getting on the court with the Knicks. I think they signed him for this season, and we broke it down already on NBK, because in Europe he had, I don't remember the exact number, but he had a huge buyout, right? Like 4 million, whatever. So 2.4, 2.1 million, if I'm correct, of a buyout from his current contract. Meanwhile, the NBA team that he's signing with, which is the Knicks, can only pay up to $750,000. So him getting that guaranteed money this year is like, okay, pay off your contract, and you have this kind of money. That's like less than $1 million left. Move to the States for the summer. We're gonna work out you and stuff, and you're gonna have a contract for next 3 or 4 years, but it's gonna be on our decision if you pan out. So that's why they gave him the guaranteed money this year. Besides, we had the money to spend. If we didn't do it, we would split out through the team. So it's like, when the season would be over, scouts from rest of the teams could easily try to pick up Luka. Meanwhile, we did it before because we had the cap space. And this is where the cap space, paid in. A team like the Lakers, they couldn't sign him because if they want to sign him, he could get only a vet's minimum. He isn't in the NBA, so he couldn't get a minimum. His minimum would be like $300,000. So he would have to, like pay his future salary basically, in whole, to pay off his, the contract with his team, Baskonia. So, that's financially, stupid, even for a 25-year-old that's scratching the doors in the NBA to do. Meanwhile, that's why the Knicks threw him, 3, 4, whatever kind of millions, so he can pay off the contract and get, a little bit money to settle him in New York. And let's see. I think, to be true, I think he can get minutes over Peyton. But it's also with, about Tibbs. If Tibbs sees that he is gonna have cohesion with the team, with the lineup and stuff like that, because I don't think, even if D-Rose stays the next season, which I hope, and I think that the Tibbs is gonna push for it, I still don't think he's gonna be a starting point guard, because he has to have that minute restriction, right? He doesn't have that pop in his legs. He doesn't have that jump. He doesn't have that, he has that athleticism, right? But he doesn't want to, get re-injured. So he's like, trying to play it safe. Let's call it that way. That's when we have a 25-year-old with a little bit of experience on big stage. He has experience in the international games. He's really fundamentally sound player. So I think he can crack a rotation. I don't know if it's like 30 minutes a game, probably not at the first season, but I think he can give you, a safe 12, 15 minutes easily. So, I still think they're going to aim for a vet point guard from the NBA, Kyle Lowry type, these kind of vets that have, like contracts, bigger contracts now, but are like 34, 35 that are on a downhill, gonna want to join in the Knicks team that went to the playoffs, and for a little bit less money than they earned this year, and just play them in the rotation, and then maybe advance them in the second year, right, on the third year, because they got that cheap contract on him. So it's only a pro for the Knicks.
Yeah, good stuff, man. As always, Andy with the facts. Yeah, that's why I like when you come on here. But what do you think? What do you think about Luka? Do you think we should waste even like a draft pick? Because I'm looking at it like this. Because you mentioned like getting a veteran. I'm looking at Michael Conley. Michael Conley's a guy that I think he's a free. Is he a free agent?
Yeah, I think he's an expiring contract at this after this season.
Yeah, he's making 30-something million. He's not going to get 30 million again, man. So there's a few guys throughout the league. If you comb through it, they're going to be due to be that stopgap kind of guy going forward. So what do you think about Luka? Let's say our draft picks and stuff like that. Because I'm one of the guys that I'm thinking that like draft picks are over at this point. I feel like we need to be thinking about expediting this thing and getting this team better, getting the players that we need to continue to push this up further. Because right now we're the 4th seed, borderline. But we need to make a solid 3rd seed, push it up into the upper echelon, because I feel like this is a championship bubble right now for the Knicks. So what do you think we should do with all that?
Yeah, listen, I think that about these draft picks, we have 4 draft picks, 2 in the first round, the 31st or 32nd pick, and like 50 couple, right? 58th pick or something like that. Let's be true. We had, quickly in Obi this season, they were, they hit the lottery with them. Let's be true about it. And Obi, I understood the pick because Leon did it. It was his guy, and stuff like that. Meanwhile, quickly, let's be true. He got on the team only because of the Kentucky connection. He wouldn't be. He would be on any other team, and you would never hear his name again. He got the
That's quickly,
chance.
right?
Yeah, that's it. And he panned out. And I'm not saying no, he's a really talented kid and stuff like that. No, he has flaws, and from my standpoint at least, he has flaws. But he's a rookie, so he can grow. His talent can be evaluated. I don't think he has that kind of a high ceiling, but he can easily be a rotation player for the Knicks, for a championship team. Lou Williams type of player, a spark off the bench and stuff. His defense is a little bit suspect for me, but he's smaller and it's his first season. So if you want me ask me about this, it's first season, but let's be true. We got 4 draft picks. I don't think if we turn them out to have one higher one, it's like 99% of the plan that these guys have is like get one pick out of those 4 and trade the rest of them, because I don't see Thibs getting minutes for even one pick. He's gonna get a vet point guard. The whole rotation. I bet Thibs would love all of these guys to stay. I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep all of them, and maybe Taj is gonna stay for the vet minimum, right? D Rose can stay for a little bit, maybe a couple of million more, but still stay with the Knicks. Then you got Burks and Bullock, right? Burks is gonna ask for money. He's not gonna be staying with the Knicks for 6 million. Let's be true. He's going to get somewhere 10, 12, 15 million probably a season.
Yeah, because that's his last contract. He's 31 years old.
Exactly. And the same with Bullock, right? I think he can get more than 4.5 or 5 million. So, if these guys tie up, an extra 10, 15 million from the Knicks, then you have only room for one superstar, right? The question is if someone is going to even look from those superstars at the Knicks and say, listen, I'm going to go there because I'm the missing piece. That's the question, right? So yeah. I think, and when they're looking for a vet point guard like Lowry's, you can say, listen, let's find like 2 more rotation guys, keep all these guys. I'm going to join in for 15 million. Was going to be cheaper than he has now, but he's not going to be taking like 3.5 million like Erful Payton. So he's going to be like, okay, listen, give me 10, 12 million. I'm going to come in and play out a season or 2. You can take an option on the second year. And, that would be it. I don't think, if the other scenario might be, listen, let's get a guy like Hawaii. Well, I'm just saying, just throwing out names, like one of the top tier ones, right? And then you have like, you got to lose Burks, because you're not going to be able to keep him, because he's not going to take the 6 million, and you're not going to be able to fill in a vet point guard spot with a max player and then be able to keep all the free agents we have. So, you got to have, and for me, I think what's, really important on NBA teams is cohesion. The guys, if they play several seasons with themselves, they know themselves. They know this guy likes to catch the ball like on this side to his shooting pocket or whatever, and he's going to shoot better like only a couple of percentage and stuff like that. So, for real, I think keeping these guys, switching up like a Alfred Payton, maybe a Frank or one guys off the bench, and getting a vet point guard, a 25 million, player instead of a max player, that might have sense. Or Frederick asking if we should resign Noel. Listen, Noel has also a cheap deal. You add 5 million for Noel, 5 million for Bullock, 10 million for Burks, and you don't have even you got like 15 million to spend. So it's no max superstar. Just get the vet point guard to try to go in the next season. So that's why I only see I think, listen, the rotation now, it's 10 people, right? if you keep them all and just replace Alfred Payton, you got 10 people. So where is the rookie going to get minutes? He will have to take minutes from Obi, from quickly, as soon, as it's possible. But I think those guys are really on valuable contracts, so they're not going to trade them. That would be stupid if you ask me. But since they cracked the rotation, you got to keep them because they got longer contracts. And listen, imagine the same with Mitch. Mitch is also looking for extension. We just gotta dump Mitch. We gotta pay the kid. And I'm not saying pay him 20 million because I don't think he's worth it. And if we keep a guy like Netherlands and Taj, Mitch is gonna be like, okay, listen, damn, I'm not gonna get that money because they're not gonna pay me the money. They went to the playoffs without me, so I just gotta be that, not the third string guy, but I can't ask for 20 million or 22 that I wanted. I gotta take the 10 million for maybe 4 years and look if they're gonna, if someone's gonna, Taj is gonna retire or whatever, so maybe they're gonna need me a little bit more then.
Yeah. It's a quadratic equation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we only have a certain amount of money, and then all this stuff. You mentioned all this. If we was to pay all these guys, that would be the end of the offseason there, man. So here's another thing too. Like I know you said that you wouldn't do it, but at this point, let's say if we were to get like a Kawhi and maybe get a Lowry, we would probably have to trade somebody in order to make the numbers work. One way or another, because we're going to be looking to try to keep some guys, maybe sign the big guy. And then, to get that next person, we're going to have to, do something like
at least move a contract, right?
Yeah. So like say Mitchell Robinson, you sign and trade Mitchell Robinson or even Frank or something like that and send him maybe to Toronto for
Frankenstein.
No, but means necessary.
Yeah. But I think, for example, for a guy like Burks, if he wants to leave, we could probably pull something like that. Listen, you want to go to, I don't know, some teams wants you really bad, and your agent is going to come to us and say, for example, I know the Timberwolves want you, right? Let us resign you for a little bit bigger money, and we're going to send you to the Timberwolves for a future pick. I don't know, for a guy that maybe they like that can crack a rotation for the Knicks, and maybe do that kind of a move. I think these guys are also, really lucky that they were on this Knicks team, that they are on this Knicks team, right? Because they had the, opportunity to show off. And, I don't think, for example, an Alec Burks would have the minutes on the Lakers, on the Heat. He would be like the third stringer and he would be, a practice player. Meanwhile, he showed out with the Knicks because he had the opportunity. He gambled on himself because he took less money, right? So that was the plan from the beginning, basically, for him. But, listen, he was on a couple of teams already, and no one, tried to keep him that hard, right? So maybe, I'm not saying he's a bad locker room guy or anything like that. But listen, teams probably can find, those sparks of the blood, of the bench more often than, for example, a defensive guy or whatever. So if there's no need and no market for a player like him, it's going to be, probably better to stay still with the Knicks. But I don't think he's going to be staying and looking at the Knicks for $6 million a year. He's going to want like 12, at least double that. So,
yeah, man, it's a mouthful with all the stuff going on here. I want to backtrack a little bit. This guy, I can't pronounce his name, but I think it's Andy as well. Andy 25. He's talking about Luka again. Do you think he'll have the same impact? Because Campazzo's fearless. He came right away in preseason. He was already like,
Didn't I tell you that, Iru, on the NBK show? I told you guys, he has the vision of a Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, and he throws passes in the playoffs, nutbag passes in the playoffs, being a rookie, right? So it's like really crazy. But I knew that, and Luka Vildoza is a little bit different player because he's more of a scorer. Campazzo is like a straight floor general. He's like that, little guy that's gonna pass the ball. Like he's like more like a Pablo guy, right? Campazzo. That he rather have a great pass, a perfect assist than score. Meanwhile, Vildoza, he has that swag. He's gonna fit in the Knicks, really good because he also plays. He's one of those guys that throws the ball off the backboard so he can dunk it, whatever. He's one of those guys in Europe, right? He can, if he feels, he has an ISO situation on the wing or whatever, He's gonna dribble between his legs, between the defender legs, just to even humiliate him, right? So he's one of those guys. But like I said, I don't think he might have more than 12, 15 minutes in the next season. No, he would really have to shock, Thibs. But he's Argentinian, right? These guys are always pesky defenders. They might not be the perfect, the fastest one, whatever, but those guys don't quit. They're pesky. They're gonna piss you off when you're playing versus them. They're gonna hit you when they teach them the angles when the ref is you he knows he's looking at the ref position, right? He sees that the ref is behind him, so he can poke a guy between the ribs, and no one's gonna see it.
Right.
So they teach them that in Argentina. They're a little bit dirty, but they know their game.
Yeah, they have like a street ball game down there. I would love to go
Yeah,
down there just to be a fly on the wall of their parks, because this is
yeah,
what we see in the pros. These guys, Manu Ginobili is a guy that jumps out at me, as far as
yeah.
Luka. So I'm hoping that he can get like that, give us that type of offensive thing. But I would love to be a fly on the wall, because I can't even imagine how their parks are. If this is what the pro level guys look like, I would love to see what the street ball guys look like over there.
Yeah. And you can when I don't know if you watch 3-on-3. The FIBA has it now 3-on-3, right?
Yeah.
And I watch it because my friend is on the Polish national team, and
Okay.
I really watch it because it's really different kind of basketball. But when, for example, they play guys like Venezuelan guys, right, and stuff like that, like those South American guys, bro, that you look like three chubby dudes on the squad, and they're like, listen, these guys don't belong with the court on us, bro. And they hit like 7 threes in a row just to end the game. Like they go like straight out threes, boom, 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 and like 2 putbacks, and then the game's over, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, listen, these guys don't look like basketball players, but they're crafty. But there's also, Serbians play a little bit, now crafty, little in Europe. You got plenty of countries, and the smaller the country is, the better basketball players they produce, because in Europe it's always soccer, right? And but in smaller countries they don't have the infrastructure for soccer, right? Meanwhile, you can catch a hoop and create a hoop, on every building, whatever. So I think those guys are really crafty, and are really playing that kind of a game, that tricky, a little bit nasty, sneaky, but also hard and pesky.
What's up with Serbia, man? Is it the water in Serbia? Because I feel like every player that I've ever seen from Serbia, they're the same thing. They almost like mirror. They even kind of look like Argentinians, man. It's like the ball handling, just everything about it. Like I'm thinking about because I mean the borderlines have changed a lot, but you got Bosnia, all these different countries.
Croatia, Serbia, Slovenia, right? Yeah, that's like one huge country back in the. There was all Yugoslavia, right? Years back.
Yeah.
So we broke up because of the home war and stuff like that. But not getting into the history details. Those countries are basically like on a really rocky terrain, and they don't have soccer pitches, so that's why they have basketball courts, because like they only have like half courts and stuff. I'm not talking about professional clubs, of course, right? But I'm talking like those street courts. They have like only a half a court, because then it's like 2 storages down, because it's a cliff and down to the sea, right? So they're like they have that kind of a terrain and just sightseeing, right? So stuff like that. So they really play basketball from the smallest of the kids. So that's why all of these guys basically have playmaking skills. Like Jokic, it's not like he was a point guard. He was, a chubby kid in school. Everybody was laughing at him. Listen, I don't know if you know the story of Nurkic. They found him out because, his father started a brawl in a bar, and, the policeman couldn't stop him. So they called for his son, and his son came in, and he was a 7-footer. So, a coach was in the bar. And really, that's a real story, bro. And he got him into the NBA. So
Wow.
that dude just was big and chubby and stuff like that, and then they made an NBA player out of him. So
That's
listen,
incredible.
they got talent in there also, and first thing, the difference between states and European basketball. In Europe, they don't pick, for example, a position for you unless you're in college. Even in high school, it's not okay. You're going to be a center because you're big. No, Everybody's working on their dribbling skills. Everybody's working on the post skills, because you never know which one is going to grow faster. And like the last class in high school. So that's why Jokic can dribble. Luka can dribble. Luka has post moves. Jokic has point guard moves, and that's why European players are more fundamentally sound. And even look when you compare the guys that come from Africa, right? Those guys also have the more poor countries. They don't have these kind of gyms that in you have in states and stuff. But those guys sometimes get crafty, but those are athletic freaks, right?
Yeah.
You see these Frank guys, these Serge Ibaka's, they come out of through Europe, probably through France, through Spain, and they get into the NBA. I don't know if you saw this rookie from he applied for the draft. I was talking with the Legion of Knicks about this, about the Usman Garuba guy from Real Madrid. He's going to be probably picked in the top 15 probably this year. I don't know the NCAA classes, because they didn't show any games here in Poland because of the virus situation. So that was off, and I couldn't see much of the games from the States kids. But you're gonna see he's still really raw, but you can see the potential. He has like this Giannis, long arms, long body. He's not that chubby at this point. But they're gonna put him on a program in the States, so he's 3-4 years and he's gonna be looking like Giannis. So, and in the States, you guys are really they build up the players to go, listen, you're gonna do this and this only, and you're gonna work in the gym. That's why you have a 4-year player at a college. He's like a Tyler Hasbro, right? He's like, you saw him in the gym like every day, couple of hours. Meanwhile, in the States, they never build up, even any muscles, because they don't know which position you're going to play. So if you had a point guard built like Tyler Hansborough, he couldn't be fast enough and move enough. When you get to the pros, it's a little bit different, right? For example, Luka, he's built, he's probably needs a little bit of muscle, but it's like 4-6 pounds of muscle to play versus the NBA players. He already has, that, a little bit muscle built on him, but he's 25 years old. He's not like 21, 20. So, he's a little bit more shaped and ready for the NBA probably than rookies.
Yeah. Just United, like you said, you was painting a picture with just the terrain, really. Like, say Africa, they don't really have like good basketball courts. If you watch them play, they got layup lines on dirt roads and stuff like that. That
exactly.
kind of reminds me of back in the days with like the country. Say like a guy like Charles Barkley, he's able to jump the way that he does because he's out playing in the back of the barn. You know what I'm saying? Building up those muscles and stuff. Even like say like a Stephon Marbury. During back in the days, there was nothing else but basketball. For Coney Island. Coney Island was like a cesspool back in the days. So it was him jumping off of the pier into the sand, building up that stuff, so it's a little different thing. Like now, like NBA players are more pampered. Nobody plays in the parks anymore. I live right across the street from a big park and nobody's really playing. The guys that are playing are the European guys. You know what I'm saying? When I walk by and I'm watching, there's a bunch of, just like I said, like a European guys, a lot of guys from all over the place. It's like a melting pot over here. I'm in Queens. You know what I'm saying? So Queens is just filled with all kind of people, man. But I don't see like generational Americans here playing. It's really like foreigners and stuff. So it's just weird, just to talk about that. Like back in the days when you was talking about the guys playing on half courts and they fall off the cliff and that type of thing. That's how Williamsburg was. Because Williamsburg is nothing but basketball courts all over the place, and for the majority, it's really like half courts. So, but if you shoot the ball and it hits the thing and it goes over, it's gonna hit the highway. You know what I'm saying? So that's what got guys really good at instead of shooting, guys were just taking it to the basket. So that's why you gave up all the say like my era, the Ed Codas, Marbury too. You just go down the line for all the different guys that we had coming up. So like your environment, the era, all that stuff, breeds what's gonna happen for that generation as far as like pros and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, listen, Iru, I'm just going to paint you a picture of Poland, right, in this basketball. Listen, I live in a city that's approximately like 300,000 people, right? Guess what's the max capacity of the biggest gym here that you can play basketball in? Guess the number.
I don't know. I want to say like maybe like 150, something like that.
Nah, it's going to be like 3,500, like max 4,000 people, and that's like the biggest gym, biggest gym here. The national gym The biggest stadium in Poland has 40,000 people. It's a soccer gym. Of course, it's soccer and it's open. The
Right.
closed gym for basketball, the biggest one in Poland is like 12,000. And you have like, bro, you have colleges with 20, 30,000, seats.
Yeah.
So imagine, and this is, I understand Poland's like I always say this a third world country, right? No, not to be true. You can go to stores now, you can buy everything in a store. So it's like that, it's like that advanced. I remember my friend came from States, my cousin friend came from States, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago for the baptism of my child. And he's like, listen, you got everything now in the stores. And I'm like, bro, it was here like for 10 years now. You could buy, milk from everything, right? But people still think that, in my city, it's a 300,000 city, that when you think about Poland, it's like wolves and bears running around the streets. So I'm like, listen, let's not get that carried away. But, for example, for sports infrastructure, it's still so poor and so bad that I don't even know. Gortat was in the NBA, but they picked him up from Germany. He wasn't. He was a goalkeeper, and playing soccer. Someone took him to Germany. He played 2 years in Germany, and they took him to the Magic, right? So and most of the from when you would look at the national team of Polish basketball players, for like 15 for the top 15 squad, it's like two guys playing in Poland. The rest is always Spain, Greece, whatever. They just picked up a contract and they play all over the world, the Europe at least.
Yeah. It's all interesting, man. Yeah, I would love to go out there. I want to ask you a question. Is it a good idea to rent a car and drive? I know it's COVID now, but is it a good idea to say, like, this is my idea. I was gonna go to Amsterdam and drive to Berlin, but also too, I'm intrigued with Poland. I always want to go to Poland just for the architecture and the history and stuff like that. Do you think it's a good idea to to be thinking about something like that?
Listen, from Amsterdam to Berlin, I could understand that. From in Poland, listen, in the bigger cities, it's probably you could go through and watch some cool things, see some museums and stuff like you said. My city, it's still way too racist. It's not like there's like 10 African American here, right?
Yeah.
It's more, but I remember I knew that the first African American, he was an English teacher in this preschool. The first, I don't know, Arabic person, he was a doctor at this hospital because, they didn't have doctors of that kind of specialization. And they picked up, a guy from Saudi Arabia, right? And listen, when you think about it, it was 10, 15, even 20 years ago. And you remember the name of the guy. Isn't that stupid for a country in 2020s?
Yeah.
It's crazy that in a city with 300,000 people, you remember who was the first African American here, who is the first Arabic and whatever, right? That's really stupid, but that's how it is in Poland.
Yeah. Well, you already answered my question, man. But here's the main thing. I'm thinking about this. You see it on the screen there. You ever seen the movie Hostel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just changed everything for me, man. So like, if that's the only thing I'm thinking about. I could deal with racism because the United States is fucking racist. You know what I'm saying? There's some guys in this building that I've already had like race wars with and stuff. Just in Queens. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even imagine going out there. I could, like I said, I could deal with it, but I can't deal with being chained to some shit with somebody doing all kind of craziness to me, and nobody's gonna know that I'm there. That's what I'm mostly afraid of.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. But listen, Amsterdam, cool city, really cool. Berlin, it's a little bit less because I don't know. No, I'm not a big fan of Polish people. At least at roots, they're not big fans of German people. So
Yeah, I
I'm
know
not
that to
gonna
be
lie
true.
to you.
I think I know that to be
Yeah.
true.
So
That's the beauty with living in Brooklyn. I grew up in Brooklyn, man. So I got friends for all kind of races, man. There's one guy I thought he was Puerto Rican for this whole time. So because he was acting Puerto Rican, and I met his mom. His mom looked Puerto Rican, so I just thought he was Puerto Rican, man. So I never really thought, because he had like this Greek name, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't really dawn on me until we got older. I said, wait a second, you're fucking Greek. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of like joked, but what really opened it up is that he met it was like some Polish friends with him. Once they found out that he was Greek, oh my god, like the jokes and just the just ripping him there. It's crazy because I mean, like, I feel like in Europe, Greece is like the butt of all the jokes, man, and
Yeah.
that's a joke within itself, a butt of all jokes.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and Polish people are really jokesters. They're gonna joke about themselves abroad, bro. I always say this, and Polish people not gonna like this, but screw it. How many Polish fans you got except me, right? So, but for example, when two guys, for example, from same city go to work in Germany, in London, whatever, right? The biggest pranks are going to be played between those two versus each other, and it's like crazy pranks, like listen, he's going to hide your luggage so he can't get dressed to work, so you get fired so he can get the job. It's
Right.
like that crazy prank where it's like they go for to get some money for bread, and they're pranking each other, so it's like for them it's funny, but it's really for example his position at the company or whatever. So it's like stupid crazy pranks like that. And I don't know if Iru, but me and Josh, when I was living in the States, we were like two streets, like at two corners living from each other. I was living in Greenpoint in McGuinness Boulevard, and Josh is like, "Oh, you saying this McGuinness Boulevard?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I remember, Barry Street, whatever." He's like, "Oh, damn, I lived like down the block, so I know where it is."
Yeah,
So that was that crazy.
yeah, we talked about it. I think it was
Yeah,
in the chat we was talking about it.
yeah, in the chat, exactly.
Yeah, that neighborhood has changed so much throughout the years. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable, man.
bro.
Because
I when I was when I was visiting there, like it's the last time we were not in the playoffs when Carmelo had that game in 2013, right? The 62-point game. I was at that game, bro. I remember I was driving to my grandmother's house when I was staying for a week, and I was like, "Where did this building come from?" I remember that was like a park on the corner. You drive in, it's like 15 stories of a building, and I'm like, a huge new architectural building, and those two storage little homes around. And I'm like, damn, these guys got to sell these houses because it ain't going to be that long before someone builds over it, right?
yeah, it's
So
definitely changed a lot, man. Because I'm actually older than you, man. I'm actually a decent amount older than you. Like I already had graduated high school by the time you got there. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, man. I remember being in that area. Doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. But I remember, during that time there was a lot of being chased out. I've got chased out of that area plenty of times, man. And then like even better, there's places that we used to be where we had no business being. That now people are walking dogs. That is now actually I was hanging out with OmniFan. That there's a bar that we had went to. I'm looking around. I'm getting flashbacks. Like what I'm saying. Like yo, this is not safe to be over here. You know what I'm saying? The New York City has changed, man. It's a whole different thing going on, man. Even with
yeah,
this COVID, we was talking this. That's the reason why we're here. We're talking about the whole COVID thing with them opening up the garden. It's just not. It's just a different world that we living in now. It's totally different.
yeah. I know I can't even imagine, but maybe it's gonna be a couple of years. I always wanted to take my kids there, but my youngest girl is like 4. She's 4.5, so I want to wait till she's like maybe 7, 8, so she at least can remember something. And I
Right.
want to show her the streets, the pizzeria, restaurants that I was getting a slice here, a slice there on the corner,
Mhm.
and whatever. So maybe that the building's still going to be there. So
Yeah, you never know, man. But definitely
yeah,
make that trip. When the kids like really can remember
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
till they build over it.
or put a bubble over the city. I think that's what's the next thing that's going to happen, man. They really just
Yeah,
don't want us in here. They don't want us non-vaccinated people in the area and stuff or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's approaching 4 o'clock, man. So I don't know if you want to get a nap in or anything before the game starts.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Maybe a 2-hour power nap. I got so much to do tomorrow. Work. My wife already planned some, design things in the bedroom. So I'm gonna scarf a whole wall probably with some wooden panels. So,
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know if you noticed, man, but I could do this now, but you can hear me now. I
yeah,
muted the mic a couple times because the kids are
yeah.
acting up
I
really
saw
bad.
you. I
You
saw
saw me
like,
when I did
go
it the first
quiet,
time.
go
Yeah.
quiet.
Oh man, I muted it a couple times. I threw something out the door just now. I don't know if anybody saw that. I did like an underhand throw. So somebody's gonna get in trouble as soon as I get off of here, man. So they can
Yeah,
hear
go
me too
get
because they got quiet again.
yeah, go get
Yeah.
them before you got to be baiting the walls tomorrow.
Oh my god. All right, Andy, man. Thanks for coming in, hanging out with me. I always appreciate you, man. I love to hear you talk, man.
Thanks, bro. It's always happy to be on with you. So it's always fun and love, right?
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, you got to get rid of that poster though in the back. That's all I got to say before we go.
Well, before he has, he loses the contract. The next one is Luca Vildoza.
I got you. All right, Andy, man. Maybe you think you're gonna be on the post game later or no?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I'm gonna be able to get on the post game. If I'm not gonna be able to sleep, I'm gonna probably watch the Queen's Court with Steph.
Okay.
If she has one, because I don't know if Sim isn't in New York. I think he went to New York. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but I think I think the Queen's Court is going to be on. If so, I'm going to try to watch it. If no, I'm going to be napping, waking up at 1:30, right, or 1:30. Watch the game till 4. Stress out till 5, so nerves calm down. I don't care if it's a win or loss. Then I'm gonna probably and my children are gonna probably pop in because it's hard to get them up into school. But it's the weekend, so they're going to be at 7 a.m. at the bed, right? So just asking, let's go downstairs. So
yeah, I think that's universal. I think kids all around the world, they just wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning like, mother, God, man.
Yeah, right. They got that timing.
Yeah. All right. Once again, Andy, man, good. Thanks for popping in. Hopefully I can get you on the show soon, man. We can talk about some other stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, man. Peace, guys.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the chat. Thanks for everybody for tuning in and stuff. Yeah, that's what it is, man. Die Knicks podcast. All right, peace, Andy.
Peace.
Yep.